All right, everybody. So welcome back to the channel. We are on episode 3 here, and on today's guest we have Grandpa Flippy. Uh, I follow him on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call the platform these days. He's in the e-commerce community, Amazon community, however you want to call it. Reached out, got him on the call here. So Grandpa Flippy, if you don't mind me asking, how did you get started in the e-com space? Who are you? Just give us a little background of yourself.
Absolutely. First off, Oscar, thank you for allowing me to be on the show because I know I'm one of the newer kids on the block and I don't have as much experience as other people in the Amazon. However, I do have a lot of experience in e-com. So how I got started was we had a business that pulled up in 2001. I've owned several businesses, sold some profitable, lost some not. It's just the way business goes. We had one that pulled up, so we needed money at the time. This was 2001. So I looked around the house for what I had. I'm a triple stage 3 and 4 cancer survivor, meaning I had 3 different types all at the same time, stage 3 and 4. A friend of mine had given me a very, very unique cane, which was a white 8 ball instead of a black 8 ball on the top of, what looked like a pool cue. And I looked around, I'm like, I don't need that. I walk fine. So I put that up and, I got a quick $100 off of that. Yeah. The number 8 being very popular in Asia, it went boom immediately. So that's how I got started. And then from there, I started flipping cell phones on eBay and did very well at that. 2006, we sold $5.5 million worth of the V3 razors.
Wow.
Um,
Holy crap.
Back then, they didn't have the restrictions. So we used to go in and look up power sellers, and then we'd contact them directly and go, hey, do you want to bulk buy?
Wow.
And we had 5.5 million sold within like 4 months. It was just ridiculous.
Holy
People,
crap.
well, like what we do with Amazon sourcing. Okay, if we got somebody who contacts us who's legit, who has the merchandise, yeah, we're going to jump in there. Yeah.
Okay.
So I got out of that. I've been in sales in one form or another since I was about 16, professionally since I was 19, and that's kind of a few things that I want to touch on while we're here today. But that's what led me into being a little more customer service oriented. And 2011 we tried Amazon. I went to flip a phone. They didn't have the restrictions then that they do
Back
now.
then.
So I flipped a used phone that I had, and it's one of those situations. There's always going to be a bad buyer out there sometimes.
Mm.
It said unlocked Verizon phone for Verizon wireless, blah 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 blah. Bought the phone, get a return request, refund request because it doesn't work on AT&T. Hi. And we went back and forth, and it was a horrible experience where the seller not only got to keep the money, Amazon didn't refund us, but they got to keep the product as well. So we got a sour taste in our mouth. Like I said, I've been in sales for years. A friend of mine called me about that time and says, do you want to go into high finance sales? I'm like, what's that? So I went in as a broker selling algorithmic stock programs and precious metals for a number of years and did very well at it and moved out of Colorado recently, just moved down here to Havasu Lake, Arizona. Loveliest place on the planet. Don't come here, we're full. But it found our happy, and at our age that's a real big thing. We've lost all of our family at this point,
Oh wow.
age, what have you. Crazy things going on. One of the things that I'm seeing on the Amazon timeline is a lot of disrespect. A lot
Yeah.
of,
Again.
it's like, hey man, I dig you, but I don't know you well enough to talk about my political or my religious beliefs. These are just that's dinner table conversation for the family, and a lot of
Mm.
stuff's gone on that way. So that's how I got here. Was after 40 years of sales training, tonality training. I've done voiceover since I think I did my first one in 1980. Did some radio stations in California, done a lot of cartoon voices and stuff like that. But after all of this time, about, I want to say maybe, I guess it was about August, September of last year,
Mm.
23, my wife came to me and said, I love you and we're doing really, really well. And I'd like to continue doing well. And I said, okay, great. How do we do that? And she said, if you could stop working in sales, that'd be great. I'm like, wait a minute, you just asked me to literally give up my personality for 40 years. So what I came to realize was that I was a bear to live with because in the sales world, it's feast or famine, and I
Yeah.
don't handle that lack of control very well. So I talked to actually a friend of mine that I was selling for his business. And he said, "Do you know about FBA? Have you heard about FBA?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, kind of." I sold mentorships for the last couple of years,
Oh,
part
wow.
time. Guy down in Australia, Giuliano, and gentleman here in the U.S., Blake Snodgrass, really great people. But the mentor world is not for me. Having been my age and gone through what I've gone through, I see a lot of the things, and that's what I see now going on our Amazon, on our timeline. I see just tons of people like you and I. Okay, so I
Right.
asked you a question, and you were nice enough to respond to me. You know, you took into account that I am pretty brand new. I'm only 6 months into this. It does work though. We know that. Look at where you are.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
I only got ungated for Nike and Lego for Q4. And by the time I got unguided, there's no like Nike anything around where I am. Being down here in Havasu, I got to drive up to Vegas for anything.
Wow.
Um, but I made an absolute crushing on Lego. Yeah. By the way, shout out to Ken and Brick Dynasty for some
Mhm.
free info he gave me. That really saved my tuchus. I would have literally lost my entire account as soon as I started. So
Wow.
and that and that's kind of what we were talking about. I jokingly say I think I'm going to write a book of the things they don't tell you about selling on Amazon. You
Oh
know,
man, don't even get me started on that. We could take
no, no,
this
I've
whole
watched your
conversation.
videos, brother.
Don't even. Dude, we could spend the whole time just on that topic alone if we wanted to. And since you're basically still like kind of brand newish in the game,
Yeah, I am.
six, six,
So what I
six.
did was a different. I do something very different, and I've done this because I've jumped around on sales floors. That's part of being a salesman out in the world. You jump. One of the things that I have always done is I sat and observed whoever was the top sales rep in the company, and I would take like 2 or 3 weeks to do that.
Right.
And I was able to, by doing that and studying what others do, there's an old saying: intelligence is learning from other people's mistakes. Smart is learning from your own mistakes. I prefer to be intelligent. So I
Mhm.
would sit with the highest reps and I'd learn what their styles were. And then I would go in and do my own thing. And not meaning to brag, but I'm very proud of the fact that I've never been lower than the fifth to 10th level on any sales floor in my life. And that's including people of 200 at a time. You know, so
Right.
I sold precious metals for a long time. And that's a brokerage of 100, 150 people on the floor.
Oh
So,
wow.
and there's a lot of stuff out there, like what we were talking about. I sat back and looked at the Q4 pound,
Right.
the hype
The
urgency,
hype, yeah.
the hype urgency. I can't figure out which one I like more. The bro, if you don't do this, do you really even FBA? Oh, by the way, buy my course. Oh, and can somebody tell me how to do this? But buy my course,
By my mentorship, by
buy my
my
mentorship. And then the next tweet out of them is, "Hey, does anybody know how to do this?" It's like, wait a minute, you're supposed to be a mentor, man. So I will say, and I checked with you before we came on here about this. I am an affiliate now. I've gone back and researched, and what I did, like I said, was observation. I took October to January to really learn what I was doing. They say watch your 10 hours of video.
right.
I watch more like 10 days of videos,
And
and I still watch videos now and educate myself. And by the way, speaking of education, I've been in sales for over 40 years, and I still study sales.
yeah,
That's why they call law and medicine is always a practice because you're always continuing. And this
yeah,
is what Amazon is. I think I would love, I don't think, I would love to have a sales floor again so that I could take a lot of the people that are on the Twitter timeline and put them in a sales phone room with customer service, being called every name in the book for doing your job, being attacked personally on a consistent daily basis for, I mean, time and time again.
right.
and then let them complain about how hard Amazon is. Not so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I tell people, Amazon FBA is like an easy as business compared to like 80% of other things out there. Like,
So I'm very spoiled that from being in high finance, I used to joke I wouldn't get out of bed for less than $1,000 a week, and that's
right.
because I was making 20, 30,000 a month. I was very spoiled at the time. COVID came around, changed that. I had opened up a laboratory and kitchen in Colorado. I'm a self-taught chemist, by the way.
Mhm.
So as well as we talked about, I am a triple stage 3 and stage 4 cancer survivor. So having all those at the same time, I started researching the alternative medicines. And long story short, I got into the cannabis industry and opened up a lab and kitchen in Colorado. Everybody did their own thing, what have you. I don't pass judgment for whatever. Didn't come to fruition. So, we're selling off all of that and looked around, like I said, went back to sales, and the wife says, you know,
Right.
so here we are. Um, Going back to studying things before you jump in, I've now found two things that we talked about. It's okay to talk about. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, you can go there.
Yeah, just respect to everybody because, we had a little negativity on the timeline of people being called shills and, you're
Oh yeah.
there was some extreme vulgarity of suggestions between myself and Anthony. So, and neither one of us are that way. But hey, to anybody who is, and I just don't like the negativity. I don't like the BS. So I found personally for me, I study a gentleman named Jim Cockrum, and that's Cockrum, and he's been doing this for over 21 years. So I see a lot of the new mentors saying things like, don't talk about replans, don't look for replans. Well,
Hmm.
replans, you're in wholesale, man. That's your entire business,
Yeah.
right? It's constant replans. So that's a lot of what Jim teaches. And it's for me, no offense to anybody, but for me, being the age that I am, I want a little more maturity. I want a little, things that have gone like yourself. Okay. You're in the age range that I normally deal with in business and professional business. And I got guys on my timeline that are 16, so I'm not saying anything bad about them. Okay. Just that I like to deal at my age with people my own age that have a few of my own experiences. So, Jim's a family man, very religious, which, like I said, politics and religion, that's for your own
Yeah,
dinner table.
that's different.
But very good guy. And nothing, he's like $40 a month instead of $5,000 for a course, so and I hear a lot of the new mentors using the things that I've heard in his course. So, having
Right.
sold mentorships, I know what's out there. And then for me, this is where you and I were just discussing. Um, I started off, or I have started off just recently, RA, strictly RA. And through, like I said, Ken's help and other situations, I've been able now to move up and get into ungating and some other categories. Thank God. Oh my God,
So
ungating's a
let me ask you, so speaking on gating, because I know I see that a lot on the timeline for sure. What tips would you give to someone trying to get on gated? Because I know that's like probably one of the first things everybody just focuses on.
sorry, my old ears didn't hear one word. What is it again I'm getting?
Yeah, like what tips would you give to someone who's trying to get ungated in the beginning? Like, do you tell them to focus on
Oh
certain
yeah,
brands or
absolutely. No, I found this gig, okay, and this I will say to everybody. One of the tricks that I was just taught was from somebody else who just taught me yesterday, who unlocked my personal problem. But read the rules. There was somebody when I very first started this, and having worked with the military again, I'm not military. I didn't serve. I worked for them, logistics. Every single character of every single letter, number, what have you, has to be identical all the way through, and that goes with reading the rules. One of the
right?
things that I didn't read, again, the things they don't tell you in Amazon, um, do not reapply in a category, meaning don't open up another case, which is what I was doing. I'm
Oh, okay.
I'm still gated in Under Armour and Adidas, and I got like stuff all over the place. Um, and that's why it's because I made the mistake of going and opening different cases on those two brands. Since then, for me, I've been ungated in foods and gourmets, and that's kind of where I want to go anyway. So
Right.
I'm good with that. The trick to ungating is first buy your items from the actual brand website. So getting ungated for Nike and Lego, I bought from Nike and Lego. Getting blocked for Under Armour and Adidas, I bought from other companies that were having sales. So
Mm,
legitimate third parties.
okay.
Okay. But they're not accepting those as invoices.
Because they're not from the brand direct, right?
Right. So since His Almighty has not had to deal with RA for a while, it has gotten to the point where you literally don't know what's going on. I'm
Yeah.
hearing I'm hearing people like Dylan Sawyer, who's one of the biggest sellers out there.
Hmm.
He's getting regated for some of his things that he had told me about.
Oh, snap.
So it's one of those things, and like a weird situation that I had, and I don't mind sharing it because somebody else gave it to me. Is I bought lifesavers to
I've
get
seen.
ungated for foods,
Right.
and a specific website that I've been told to buy that I was tuned into, and I don't have permission to share. I apologize. For me, I open up anything, but other people's things I don't share.
No, yeah,
Um,
that's fine.
I bought from that particular website, and I had no problems. I'll continue to buy from that website, but anything that has not, for example, just before they changed the A to A ruling, now you have to
Oh,
buy.
yeah, 50
Okay,
units.
so December, I bought 10 lanyards of Adidas from Amazon, submitted it with the Amazon invoice. They came back and they said, you can't get ungated because you bought this from Amazon. Huh? So I sat back for a little while and did more research, like I said, and found out that they then jumped it to the 50 units if you're buying from A to A. So
Yeah.
I one other thing about getting ungated, I've heard a lot of people say buy product that you're just going to return once you get ungated.
Oh, how do you feel about that?
Okay, again, sales trainer for 40 years. I cannot stand people who do unethical things. There is
That's
absolutely no need for it. Okay.
yeah, same here.
So I understand. And actually, the person who gave me this website even admitted that they purchased things to get ungated and then returned them.
Oh,
I
wow.
personally, I personally don't approve of that. Okay. I believe that if you're, there's a thing called business acumen, which is
Hmm.
what you do. We reinvest back into our businesses. Okay.
Right.
And sometimes you take the loss.
Yeah.
So for me, whatever I buy, so the items that I bought on Nike, I did not relist. I sold them and am selling them locally because here in Havasu, there's things that people want certain things.
Right.
So the lanyards that, as Amazon says, I can't use. That's no big deal. I'm going to put them up locally because everybody has razors or jet skis out here, so they can do that kind of thing. I say buy something that you're willing to eat the price on,
Hmm.
or that you're willing to resell just to get ungated.
Yeah.
All right. So, for example, lifesavers. Nobody's going to buy my lifesavers, and I don't care. I'd make 50 cents profit on them if they did. I kept joking with my wife. I'm like, guess what? Everybody's getting the stocking this year for Christmas. I don't care. I got ungated. I don't care.
And that's true, right? I mean, because you got to think about it, especially if you're doing like arbitrage, like in your, situation, you're doing
Right.
RA. It kind of hurts the relationship and just how, companies look at resellers in general by doing these methods, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if you're buying like 20 freaking Legos and then returning every single one of them, I mean, that's just, I mean, pushes the retail stores to, ban you, stop you from buying in bulk, and then you're just you're ruining everything for everybody else at the end of the day.
You are, and there's nothing wrong with going and doing shopping. I got unlocked for Lego, and then because I live down here where I do, everything's a 3 hour radius for me: Phoenix, Las Vegas, San Bernardino. I got a hold of a guy who buys and sells storage units, and he bought a storage unit that had a lot of product, and I was able to get it from him and get receipts and get tracked, so it was all legit. Nice thing about Legos is you can't counterfeit them. That's a really nice thing about it. And as long as they have store receipts, that's great. You're all good.
Yeah.
Buying from third parties, especially on Facebook Marketplace, I'm going to tell you right now, most of the stuff is stolen.
Yeah.
So I went literally to the guy to meet him up for some Legos. And I told him flat out, I'm like, listen, I'm an Amazon seller. And by the way, people who say that you shouldn't go to a wholesaler and go, I'm an Amazon seller, blah, 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 blah. I don't believe in that. Being in sales, I believe in
Oh,
blasting. Oh no, I believe
oh,
in blasting
I gotta,
right. Oh yeah, okay, all
I
right.
gotta hear this one.
Okay, so phone sales is my specialty. All right. So what I do, and I'm going to start selling wholesale distributorships once I've set them up. But my tactic that I've always done is I call the front desk. I don't call the rep, and I say, ask who I'm talking to, and I get a name. Let's say Sarah.
Right.
Okay. So, okay, Sarah, appreciate that. My name's Tim. I need to speak to whoever approves the people to sell your products through outside distributorships.
Who approves the people to? Okay.
Oh, well, that would be Mr. So and so. Great. Is he available or can you send me to his voicemail? And then from there. Now, if they're sticklers about it,
Mhm.
I just go, no problem, Sarah. And it is Sarah, right? I just wanted to make sure because when your boss calls me and finds out that I had to go to your competition and I'm a distributor for them and he's mad at me, I just need to know your name so I know who to tell that I couldn't talk to him. Okay. We cool with
Okay.
that? Reverse psychology, it can blow up on you if you don't know how to use
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. That's
I sold the owners and general managers of car dealerships that way.
oh
Uh,
wow.
we had a lead sale program, and what I would do is I would call up and say, "Hi, Oscar. My name's Tim. I'm the representative for XYZ, and we've got 35,000 members that we'd like to expose you to weekly. And I just wanted to know, did you want to be the exclusive Ford dealer, or did you want us to go a mile down the road to Michael Ford? What would you like us to do?" Boom, that's it. Play them against themselves.
Yeah, I
Play them
guess
against
so.
themselves. You know,
You would do great in wholesale with brands, you know that?
Yeah, that's where I'm going. So everybody asks, and this is really important. I'll touch on this for a minute. Everybody always says, "What are your goals? What are your goals?"
Right.
We always talk about that on our timeline, and we see the orange bars. My favorite orange bar, I think, is either yours or Aziz. I don't know, but it goes like that because I don't give a damn about your orange bars. I really don't. Okay, I care about your return on investment.
Return on investment. Yep.
All right. So that's what I'm all about. And yeah, the wholesale is where I want to go. What are your goals? Okay, you talk to these kids and they're like, "Oh, I want to do 5,000 a month." Well, okay, is that your revenue or is that your income? Have you planned for your employees? Have you planned for wholesale? I got a buddy of mine who literally he's like yourself, he does wholesale FBA
Yeah.
and he sells nothing but Mexican candy
Oh,
and he does
nice.
about a grand a day in profit. And he's happy doing that. He's got 3 employees, he's got a warehouse. That's what he wants to do. That was his goal. All right.
Oh, well, you gotta get me in contact with that guy. Do a call with
Yeah.
him too.
Oh, look, yeah, he and I have been friends for a long time. I actually worked for him as his sale, and he ended up shutting down the company because he didn't need to work anymore. I've made a lot of people
Wow.
rich.
Yeah, I believe
We,
it.
I'm not gonna lie. I was fortunate to have funds myself, which is how I opened up, the business that we did. And
Yeah,
unfortunately, COVID came in and knocked and changed a lot of things for all of us. So
right.
I literally lost a $5 million a month business because
Wow. Yeah, because of
yeah.
pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah, but dude, it's like what we said. Okay, it's attitude, it's the way you present yourself, it is that wholesale introduction. Okay, it is the goals. I will not allow myself to stop. All right. Um, I'm a freak of nature. Literally, I was given a full blood transfusion the day I was born.
Oh, wow.
Um, I was what they call RH factor opposite of my mother. So they gave me a full blood transfusion. I've either between head injuries and vehicle accidents and surgeries, I'm up over 50. And I got myself off of all medication, including the stuff they try and give you when they say you're ADD,
Mm,
ADHD, OCD.
yeah.
Really? I walked into a shrink's office and I walked out with every letter in his alphabet. Oh, you have this, you have this, you have this, you have this. And I loved what they do. Here's drugs.
Here's all the prescriptions.
Here's all the stuff you want to take to kill yourself. I'm like, no, I don't want that shit. So back to goals. We talk to kids that are, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. I prefer, and Jim has a saying I like, How many ASINs do you need to make your car payment? How many ASINs do you need to make your house payment? Let's plan those goals. See, for me, the reason that I'm able to do what I do is I sat back and did my research so that I now know exactly what I want to do. I'm in my RA phase right now,
Right.
and I am transitioning into my OA phase with the software that we talked about, Nepeto.
Right.
Stupid simple to use. If I can, I am, I'm what they call a tech Neanderthal. I'm a Neanderthal when it comes to technology. I'm lost. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. All right. So that's where I go there. Next, once I've got the OA down, I figure I'm going to probably give that 6 months to a year.
Okay.
We'll bring in friends from our community that want to resell with me, and they'll work in the warehouse. And then we're going to take that profit. And what we do is we invest into local businesses, and then we take 30% of the net. So I go to jet ski companies, snowmobile companies, that kind of stuff, and I upgrade all of their equipment so that they rent more,
Right.
and then we get a percentage. So from there, we flip businesses, and that's the end goal: is we're going to be flipping homes and businesses, but we got to start and build the foundation and grow up. You know.
Okay.
Now you've been doing this how long?
5 years and like 2 months or so.
Okay. So that gives me an idea of what a reasonable warehouse success would be before I start flipping into my restaurants. And that's what I do is I ask other people, what have you done? What is your the one thing I can't stand though is when people come on and go, how much money did it take you to do X? How
Oh
much money
man,
did it?
how long did it take you? How fast
Mm-hmm.
did you take? Like that? Those are terrible. Like literally, when I see those questions, 100% of the time, they're not gonna make it in this business. Like,
I literally had a kid come up to me on a sales floor one day as he quit. He goes, I'm not working here anymore. I can't afford that kind of headset. So I don't get all the good leads. Had nothing to do with 30 years of me learning a trade. Had nothing to do with me studying 35, at that point. It
yeah,
was, I was like, I give respect to you guys. You who are up there, and I will give respect specifically. Thank you for giving me your time as such a newbie. Thank you for letting me on and share my experience. Um,
no,
but
bro.
and that's the difference. There are a lot of people out there that I'm seeing that as soon as the restrictions changed, like the 50, oh, good, get these newbies out of here. Oh, good, get these freaking newbies out of here. Really, dude? You weren't never a newbie?
Yeah,
Nobody ever helped you?
yeah,
We're very blessed right now that even at our age, 56, 57, we've just obtained our first home in our entire lifetime because we did different things. All
right.
right. Everybody's life is different,
Yeah.
so you got to set specific goals, got to know how to get there. Got to talk to the guys like you, got to talk to the people in the community. I'll give a shout out to Raul because he was the first guy who ever gave me a bolo, and that's what kind of got me started.
Right, right.
And I talk with a lot of people, and we share information back and forth. And like I said, most of it I'm able to say everything. Some, only out
Yeah,
of respect to the other people.
yeah.
You know, but if you're not talking to other people, if you're not reaching out and learning stuff like from you,
Mhm.
from your wholesale, what's the point?
Yeah.
I
Well,
understand we all got to make our sausage breakfast. We all got to eat our steak dinner and whatever you want to express as your numbers that you're doing every day. That's cool. I don't care. You know, but at the end of the day, are you taking care of you? Are you doing what you want to do? Are you getting where you want to be? Are you happy?
yeah, straight up.
So we live around a bunch of ex-military people, and like I said, I used to work for and with, not with served. Around here, man, we got a saying: "Baby's gonna die." Nope. Then it ain't that important, is it?
Yeah.
Our baby's gonna die. Nope. Then it ain't that important. Stop stressing on it. Go find your happy. I love watching. How many kids you got?
About to have my sixth one any day.
I love that. I gotta count them up. That's your happy. You found your happy, man. Doing warehouse and working for your family, that's your happy. I
Yeah.
did high finance and I took care of my family and things changed and circumstances happened. And that's the one thing I want to touch on. Never give up.
Yeah.
Never ever give up, man. Never give up, never surrender.
Yeah. And
It's
And I think in
Yeah.
this business model, people just give up way too early.
Oh man.
Like,
Never
like
give up, never surrender. Take all you can, give nothing back.
yeah, like if you don't, I mean, people have that mindset. If you're not a millionaire by like year one, you already like quit, failed. Like I never got that.
99% of all businesses do not earn a profit until the first 5 years.
Yep.
The internet has given a false impression of expectation because we see people like Alex Hormozi, who's out there, the number one, Gary Vee. We all watch that stuff. We all want
Yeah.
to be like them. Everybody wants to do the work. Or, excuse me, everybody wants to have the result, but nobody wants to do the work.
Oh yeah. Straight up.
Alex, and I bring up Alex Hormozi specifically because if you've ever listened to him, he gives the instruction of the cycles, right? You
Right.
get into everything and you're really excited and it's awesome. And then it starts getting hard and you're not really sure if you should have done this. And everybody's like, what the hell are you doing? How's going on with that business? Oh my God, I feel like hell. I think I'm going to go get a job, because
That
that's what
whole
society, yeah,
yeah.
go get a just over broke job. That's what society tells us we need. You
Yeah.
know, I was fortunate. My mother was a real estate agent. My stepfather was a college administrator. He was actually a dean of colleges, dean of finance. So I got to learn about money. And mom was the same way. She's just like, you can't, no, you can't give up. And I watched realtors literally walk away from $1 million listings because they couldn't say the right thing. And my mom would just come in and go, so and so didn't work out for you. What was it you did want?
No, just asking what they want. Yeah.
That's what
Simple.
Amazon is. What do you want?
Yeah.
And the ASINs, everybody going crazy about the ASINs. Man, just walk around your own house. You know, we buy from Amazon. And like I put up a thing in Q4, I said, if you are FBMing in Q4 and you're not leaving positive review on anybody you buy for, you suck.
Oh man, it's hard to get those reviews.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're sellers, why aren't we giving each other better reviews? And
Yeah.
if we are, and if we're sellers, why aren't we holding each other more accountable instead? Okay, I'm guilty of it too. I get into the trash talking,
Oh
because
yeah.
we're
There's
bored during the day. So, it's like, oh, so and so did this. Oh, well, F them. And, this kind of thing. But
yeah.
again, it goes back to the ethics. If you're doing something dirty in this, you're going to get called out quick and it's going to boomerang big time on
Oh
you.
yeah, a lot, especially in
Yeah.
this business model, especially on
Yeah.
Twitter. I've noticed on Twitter is where you'll really get exposed for whatever you're
Oh,
doing.
yeah. Yeah. Facebook, everybody is so used to getting banned that they kind of keep it all cool. It's like, no, I don't want to be
Yeah.
out for another 30 days. Twitter, it's like as long as you don't threaten, as long as you don't cuss, and even cuss, you can pretty much say whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's open, which is good to some extent. In our community, I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think
Same
it's really
here.
good. I'd like to see less of the wannabe mentors, wannabe coaches. If you want to sell a coaching program, if you want to be a mentor, that's fine. Go perfect your program.
Yeah. Go at least, have the skill set to back it up at least.
There's a reason why I don't sell a coaching program for sales. My experience was not in a time when it was recorded. So everything I have of experience is my hearsay.
Mhm.
I can prove it when I get on the phone with the client and close the deal,
Yeah, for sure.
but I don't have that content to put together to be a coach.
I
All right.
mean, yeah. I mean, I think you can still do it though. I mean,
Oh, I could, but it's not a desire. It's not a burning passion.
yeah, that would be different for sure. Yeah.
I know it sounds stupid, right? But it is a burning passion in my house now. And sorry, honey, when my wife asked me to get out of sales,
Sleeping on the couch tonight.
you when she asked me to get out of sales, one of the reasons was because I was using a bunch of various platforms and my phone literally was going off just back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah. Okay.
And she's like, is that off again? Is that going off again? And not from not supporting me, but just from irritation because we work in the same house. We both work remotely.
Okay.
But now I changed it to the only time we hear any notification is when my Amazon seller account, I have to fulfill
Ding.
an account. So yeah, damn straight, man. I got the cash register on there. Shishing, shishing, and it's a stupid excitement. It is.
Yeah.
you
It's
know,
that dopamine in
it
there.
is, man. It's like I bought a couple of Nike hats and I listed them, and we went out to dinner, and we're sitting at dinner, and we hear shing, shing, shing. And the people we were with are like, "What's that?" And my wife goes, "Him paying for dinner." Now she hears that and she comes running out. It's like, "Do we get another sale?" And it's brought us closer together because we sit on the weekend hours and we coupon shop and we discount shop, and she'll come up and go, "Hey, this site has XYZ." She's one monetary management, and that's another thing, man. If you're not good with money management, know your weaknesses, know your strengths. Know
Yeah.
your weaknesses, know your strengths, and get rid of the ego. If I could say anything to any seller on the Amazon timeline, get rid of your flipping ego.
Oh
Okay.
man, there's way too much of that on social media.
Exactly. And you've seen that during Q4, I got on, I was pounding, I was on there all the time, I was commenting all the time, I was creating engagement with people that I
Right.
wanted to know, such as yourself. So now I know those people. So I'm not out there all the time. Starting next week, I am going to be putting out my affiliation for Jim Cockrum, and I apologize, I do not have an affiliate for Jim Cockrum yet. I'm going to request one, but I will be putting out my Napedo affiliation out there because I think it's a great thing. And for new beginners that get very frustrated, um, something has happened, and I just want to touch on it real quick. Something has happened during COVID, and I didn't realize it about myself, and I don't think a lot of people realize it about themselves. Another thing that came about with COVID is a lot of agoraphobia. People got really comfortable not leaving their houses.
Oh yeah. Me.
Okay. I lived at the time in between two ski resorts in southern Colorado. We were snowed in 7 months out of the year. I didn't go out very often. You
Wow.
know, well, we were there 10 years. I got used to being there.
Yeah.
I got comfortable. That's the problem. Now that we've moved down to Arizona, it's like, oh, I can't sit inside and do everything. I
Mm.
got to go out in the RA. I got to be around people. Okay.
Traffic.
Traffic. Well, that's the one nice thing about here. Speed limit's never over 45 anywhere around our
Wow.
entire community. Yeah. So we never have to worry about that. Traffic is only on the weekends when everybody comes in to use the lake, and that's fine by us. But yeah, I have to go out in RA. I have to go out and be around people. I have to get out of the house. And
Yeah.
again, that's knowing your strengths and weaknesses. I didn't realize that this had become a weakness for me. And once I realized it, you address it.
Hmm.
And, we talked about it a little bit off air. I'm a 14-year sober alcoholic. And one of the things that we learn in AA is suit up, show up, and do what's ever the hardest first. Because that's what's going to frustrate you. Once
Yeah.
that's done, hey, I did it. Okay, there's another notch in my belt, and I can go do the next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that goes into the conversation of being positive on the timeline. I see a lot of people who are really supportive, and then I see the same people who are coming in and, yeah, okay, we all get in there and shite talk for whatever reason because we're idiot
Right.
guys and we're bored and we're just, da 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 da. But on
Engagement.
the flip side of that, there's a professionalism that needs to be expressed. We all know about the situation that happened between a couple of the Twitter community and one of the repricing managers. There was no need.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's me, brother. I don't like to point fingers, so I'm going to be vague because I was one of the ones on that tweet. But anyway, um, had there been a simple level of profession,
What's that? Did it cut or something? Or okay, hold on, guys. Not sure what happened on my end.
okay, just don't do it. Ethics. There you are. We're good.
Oh,
I just kept going.
okay.
That's probably
Yeah.
me.
I don't know. Oh man,
It could be me.
we're going to you think you can
Well,
reset you can go back to that and
yeah,
uh,
sure. The whole thing about activity. I was one of the individuals on the thread that
right.
was disrespected by that particular repricing manager. That's neither here nor there. Okay, that's on him.
Right.
But what it did was it made the business look bad.
Yeah.
When all he had to do was say, if you don't agree with XYZ, you know, then you don't have to use us. Or in my experiences from being sales, hey, what is it about the product that you're not happy with? Let me see how I can improve it for you. That's just
Yeah.
my go-to.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Is okay, what are you not happy about? What is it that's the problem? But instead it was easier to attack, and that backlash was not worth it financially. Okay.
No,
There
I saw people literally cancel their subscriptions.
I saw very large people in the community cancel their subscriptions just very simply because they didn't like the lack of professionalism.
Yeah.
You know,
Same here.
at the end of the day, the reason that a wholesaler hangs up on somebody when they say I'm an Amazon reseller is because there isn't a guideline of control amongst the people of professionalism. You know,
Yeah.
I'm happy to defend myself when I say I'm an Amazon seller. I tell people straight out, I don't care. You know, because what, but at the same time, because I've had managers talk to me about it.
Okay.
You know, I've gone into a store and been looking for stuff, and they're like, "Are you a reseller?" And I said, "Yeah." Well, I'm sorry, we don't allow resellers. Okay. Any particular reason why not? I'm paying tax. I'm buying. I'm buying. What difference does it make if I buy it or 50 people buy it?
Right.
You're still getting your sale, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Then how about if you leave me alone and we both make money today? And the guy looked at me. He's like, "You're absolutely right. You're 100% right. Go ahead. No problem." And they let me buy the products that I wanted to buy.
No.
You know, but because it was a professional, respectful conversation,
Right. Yeah.
you know, and that's what it goes back to, you know. And we have this individual currently that has removed themselves from the timeline, and they were discovered having. I want to be very careful because I don't want to say anything
Right.
out
Right.
of legal context. It's my understanding that they were taking accounts of corporate and buying labels with those accounts and then repricing to whatever they wanted. For say example, 10-pound item was being sent out with a $2 label, and I've heard other people say it's
Yeah.
cheaper, but this is just that particular instance. And I go back to it again. Doesn't need to be done.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be done. If you can't win by playing the game fair, you shouldn't be in the game.
Yeah. I mean, I even talk with this with other people too, and it's like this person should have honestly just kept this to themselves instead of trying to like mentor, course, promote, and doing the same thing because they could have just made their money on the low. It would have been wrong, doing what they're doing, but they would have not had their reputation destroyed for one. And then, yeah, I mean, it's just some things you keep to yourself at the end of the day, like that.
Absolutely. You know, I understand that there are people who want to help each other and stuff like that. And I've actually seen on the timeline since that apparently in the beginning of all of this, in the hype, this was something common that people did. You know, it's federal fraud.
Yeah,
You know, and there, I saw another post about a woman, not the individual we're discussing, but another individual in California who got busted for the same thing and is now looking at like $50 million in fine from the federal government and
oh,
doing
sweet.
like 10 years hard time. And I'm just
Wow,
going, is that worth it?
not at all. Not at all.
Not at all, man. So I think for the sellers, it's having your goals in mind before you start.
Yep.
Finding out what you're doing. Okay. Anybody who jumps in this who and I got wrapped up in the hype when I very first got, you know, because I saw the gross numbers and I heard all the stories
Yeah.
and you know, all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, 3 months, I'm back to the money I used to make. No. But if you go into any venture, you know, like I said, I've owned several businesses. Some of them I've sold profitably, some of them I haven't. But if you go into any business venture with the aspect of a timeline that you're going to make money by, unless you have a specific formula to get to that goal, that's unrealistic. And all you're going to do is bail yourself out.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I'm a self-taught chemist. I've been a sales trainer and voiceover for a number of years. I've always believed my entire life that everything is a formula. It just
Hmm.
matters. It's like, you know, yesterday I didn't have anything to do, so I baked some stuff for the wife. Anything you do, an ingredient in a cake, a chemical in a extraction, you know, a word in a formulation to a salesperson. Everything is a formula, and it only depends what ingredient you drop in at the specific chain of the formula as to what result you get. And Amazon's no different. You
Yep.
know, I liken Amazon selling to video games.
The video games.
Yeah, because you start off and you get a brand new video game and you don't know what you're doing, so you get your ass kicked regularly and repeatedly over and over and over again. But what do? We just keep pressing reset. Just keep pressing reset and go on. I walked in front of the TV. I almost got killed. You know, it's you know, the whole thing. But seriously, hey, how much money did I collect? How many points did I collect? It's nothing for us to collect a couple billion points in a
Right.
video game. But people have this hang up about money. I can't be
Yeah.
a billionaire because I've done something wrong. No, you're not.
Yeah.
This is all legit, man. You know, gold and silver, precious metals is all arbitrage.
Yeah, it is.
People
It
don't
is.
realize it, but it is all
Yeah.
arbitrage. You know, something that I'm actually going to branch into because I do have the blessing of knowing the wholesalers for that.
Right. Yeah.
But it's the same thing. Everything out there is arbitrage. It's
Yep.
just a matter of whether they're getting presented the arbitrage by the internet or whether they're getting presented by a salesperson.
Yep.
You know, so a car is simply arbitrage.
Yep.
Dealership bought it from the manufacturer at a lower price. You've got a rep selling it
Like,
to you.
yep.
You know,
Buy
we
low,
go
sell
out,
high. Yep.
buy low, sell high. Gordon Gecko, baby. Greed is good. You know, that's the generation I grew up in.
Man. But,
Listen, dude, I cannot thank you enough. This has been wonderful. I really appreciate you allowing me to come in and share some of my core beliefs of ethics.
mhm.
Yes, I'm a newbie. No, I'm not giving up. I may pull back sometimes. It's like last couple of weeks I've been moving the house, that kind of stuff. We'll pull back, we'll come back in.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's necessary for people to constantly post content unless they're trying to gain clients, and that's fine. You know,
Yeah.
just be honest about it.
Yeah. I mean, I know even myself, I don't post much on Twitter, but on Instagram, I'm actively posting on there.
Right.
So,
And I don't use Instagram,
mhm.
again, tech Neanderthal, I'm not good at it. I have an Instagram account. I don't use it. But point being is, as long as you're doing what you know how to do to
Yeah.
get to where you need to be, right? And you're doing so ethically, that's all we have to do.
No.
And the steps are laid out for sellers. They really are, but it's not an A through Z by
Oh
any
no.
means. It's more like algebra. It's A plus X equals Y minus
B. Yeah.
75,000, and how many drops did we have on that product? There's a lot of
Yeah.
things that are involved.
Yeah. A
Coming
lot.
coming from the brokerage world of high finance, this is not very unsimilar to purchasing long and short on contracts. That's really what especially when it's Legos. I know I've got a lot
Mhm.
of merchandise that won't sell until next Christmas, but at 100 to 150% ROI, I'm not complaining about it.
Mhm.
And when you buy your products, I know you have a different set of rules by being in wholesale,
Right.
but by being in RA or OA, especially FBM, you have to set your expectations and what your wins and losses,
Yeah.
winners and losers. You got to set it up.
It's part of the game, honestly.
And the last thing I'll touch on is on those losers that come back to you, on those things that, yeah, okay, if you sell shoes, you're going to get returns. That's just the way
Yeah.
it is.
Yep.
Flip them on eBay, build in enough profit in there. One of the things I like about Jim is that I don't sell at the buy box. As a newbie, I sell, well, I can give you an example right now that I have one particular Lego that I sell on the regular that
Mhm.
every single time I get new stock and I put it up, Amazon comes back and says, "We're sorry, but you are not eligible for this and this and this
A buy
because you are too."
box.
I'm 50% higher than anybody else online, and I sell them all day long when I have them in stock.
Wow. Does that even show on the keeper charts? Like
It shows where it's sold. Yeah, it shows where the numbers are that sold. And that's a lot of times what I'll do is I'll go into the keep chart and I'll look at the buy box and I'll look at the highest price and I'll slam somewhere in the middle.
Oh, snap.
you
Wow.
know, and I make a hell of a good profit. Like I said, so far, my least profitable item so far since I started in October has been 10%.
10%. Yeah.
That's, of course, of the items that I purchased to actually make profit on. The items that I just purchased to get ungated, I don't care.
Yeah, those
Feed
sound.
feed the beast, man. I've
Yeah.
learned that one. You got to keep feeding the beast. All
Oh,
right,
yeah.
dude. Thank you so much. This has been amazing.
No, thank you,
Um,
man. I'm glad you took the time from your day and just got on this call with me. I mean, like I
I
said,
love it, man.
I'm just trying to bring on different sellers, you know. I mean, uh, no offense to other podcasts and out there, but when you hear kind of the same old from certain people, it's just like, what haven't you really heard at that point from that seller? So,
Well,
yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that doesn't get disclosed when you start in on this, and I will say this: that anybody who is watching your podcast right now is welcome to DM me through X. That's where I do my business through. So, I am Grandpa Flippy on X or Twitter, however you want. Anybody watching that's welcome to contact me, and I'll answer any question I can. I got a lot of experience outside of the Amazon world. I used to call myself the poster child of what not to do with your life. Because if there's a mistake, I've made it. Yeah.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
and that's a lot of what this is learning what's not there, learning the algebra instead of the A through Z. But like I said, going back to it, if you structure your goals, if you learn your steps, it's not hard. If you want to take shortcuts, if you want to set up multiple accounts and emails and all that ridiculous BS to be bouncing product, I kind of always ask myself, is it worth it? That's what I had to do when I was a stockbroker. Is it worth
Yeah.
getting up at 4:30 in the morning, driving 2 hours to a shop to work 12 hours a day to drive 3 hours home because of traffic, have a meal with
Damn.
your wife, maybe watch a show, go to sleep, and do it 6 days a week? That ain't worth it, man. That ain't
Yeah.
worth it at
It's,
all. I was fighting LA traffic. I lived in Torrance and I was working in Burbank. I would get up at 4:30 in the morning, drive up to Burbank. I'd
wow.
have to wait until they opened the office at 8. I would work until 6 or 7 o'clock at night, fight LA traffic back an extra hour because it's nighttime now. Get
Yeah.
home, pet the dog, have some dinner, maybe watch a show. Good night, baby. Morning, do it again. And then you sit back and you're like, yeah, okay, I'm making bank. But what are you doing with your life? When was the last time you went jet skiing? When was the last time you went snowmobiling? When was the last time you took your kid to a zoo?
Yeah.
That was all the stupid stuff I like doing. So it's like, what kind of life do you want to have? And that's why we moved down here, quite honestly. I moved to Colorado for business. I've moved all over the world, excuse me, all over the country for business, and found my happy. You
Yeah.
know, no, yeah, okay, there's traffic. It's weekends. Everybody wants to come play in the water. Sure, we understand that. That's good. Other than that, everybody is civil to each other. Everybody, we have all different types of people in the community. And you know what? I don't give a shit what you do. I don't care as long as you ain't hurting anybody and just do what you got to do. Be
Yeah.
respectful of others,
Yeah. Same
and that
here.
goes back to if you want to talk shite, we have an entire private cord that we do nothing but talk crap. And it's stupid crap. And we know it's stupid crap. It's the stuff that we want to say on X, but nobody would understand that we're just being idiots. Okay. Set
Yeah.
up a thread like that with your buddies if you want to do that crap. When it comes to being on Twitter, you're presenting yourself in what a lot of people don't realize. I think I'm going to leave you with this one. A lot of people don't realize that Amazon is watching those Twitter threads all day long.
Oh
They
yeah.
have a specific team for client support and a specific team for seller support that
Yeah.
are looking at all of our text. So when a mentor comes along and grabs a brand new newbie who's never sold anything in their life, let alone Amazon, and all of a sudden they're boom, well, gee, I wonder why you just got your account deactivated. You blew up and threw out all of your information for the entire world to see, and now Amazon's going to check and see if you're doing something shisty or not.
Yeah. I guarantee that's the reason why they increased the A2A gating
It's the
units.
reason why they increased the HAA gating. It's the reason why we got so many Section 3s. It's
Yep.
the reason why accounts are getting knocked off right and center. The theft is a
Yep.
big problem. that a lot of there, I don't personally know anybody who's doing this, okay, but I do know that it happens.
Yeah, it
And that's
happens.
the thefts that are going on in states that don't prosecute thefts anymore.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
that's a whole different.
I'm not going there. I
Yeah,
live where I live for a reason.
me neither. Same here.
Okay. But a lot of the products that have been lifted are small products that are easy to move, like beauty,
Yep, beauty, home
and
appliances. Yeah.
home appliances. And you got those people on Facebook that are going, hey, I got 1,000 of these. Come get them from me for $1 a piece. And you're going, no, thank you. But the problem is, a lot of us have friends that sell on Amazon. And, people I know that I sell on Amazon, but they don't.
Yeah.
So hypothetical situation is that they would be bringing the seller those stolen items,
Wow.
and the seller is putting them up on their listings, not knowing that they're stolen. I actually had an individual who's no longer a member of our family. It was a husband of a cousin that, believe it or not, was a cop and brought me a ton of golf supplies, and we sold them on eBay.
So,
And he was a cop and he worked part time for the golf shop. So he had told me that he'd gotten everything on employee discount. Yeah, the employee five finger discount. And the owner contacted us and was like, "These things are stolen," and da 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 da. And easiest thing I've ever found to do in that situation is just, no problem. Here's the money I made from it. My apologies.
wow. Yeah.
Walk away. Take the loss and walk away, because it's not
Yeah.
going to be worth the stress, the time, or the money of the lawsuit.
Yeah. Like at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's really what I'll tell everybody out there. If you get the opportunity to do something shady, well, first, put yourself in the client's shoes. That's how I sell. People throw up questions. Oh, I got this return. What should I do about that? What would you do? What would you want if you were the client? One bro that I talk to all the time was supposed to get back a pair of shoes and ended up getting back a couple of very expensive smartwatches. The person sent them Person sent out two packages and obviously mislabeled which
Oh,
package
snap.
was going where. And, bro hit me up. He's like, what should I do about this, man? And I'm like, all I'm going to say is, how do you want to watch your karma?
Yeah.
You've heard karma, right?
Yep.
Karma. What goes around comes around.
Yep.
I've added a tagline to that. Karma. What goes around comes around. And the longer it takes, good or bad, the harder it hits, because it's been out there and gaining momentum.
Yeah. So
So all these
true.
people who say, "Oh, my life sucks. Oh, everything's horrible. I'm never getting ahead. I can't do this. I can't do that." Yeah, well, what are you going to do about it? You only got two choices:
Hmm.
give up or keep going.
Yep.
Now for me, I'm not going to go through my boo-hoo, because everybody's got a story and they all end in wah. They're all boo-hoo wah. This happened to me. No, I made this mistake, and that's why I am where I am. But
Accountability.
not giving up, like I said, not giving up. I am now at 56 in my first home, something I never in my entire life imagined. Okay. Because I kept my karmic account clean.
Hmm.
We call it depositing karma. It's a karmic bank account. Are you withdrawing karma today, or are you depositing karma today?
Yep.
And think about it. Okay. If you're the buyer, how do you want to be treated? I have
Yeah.
always treated every client I have ever had the way I want to be treated. If I'm dealing with somebody my age by comparison to you and I talk to them like they're my parent. If I'm dealing with somebody your age who's younger than I am, I talk to them like a buddy. If you talk to an older person, treat them like your grandparent. You talk to somebody my age, treat them like your parent. You talk to somebody your own age, show them that you're more professional than they are. You'd be
Yep.
surprised how many people think I'm not as smart as a lot of people think I am. I'm really not. But because of my professionalism and because of the business acumen that I have and the vocabulary that I
Mhm.
studied, by the way, that's why I became a vocal coach. Enunciation and pronunciation will make an incredible difference in your amount of profit.
Yeah.
When you're
Yeah.
talking to somebody, I won't call him out, but good guy, love him to death. Ha! My name's, and I'm calling from Gold Silver. Listen to this, dude. You're what? Hi, my name is, and I'm calling from Gold and Silver. I said, okay. And he wasn't a black guy, by the way. He was speaking the Ebonic slang, but he wasn't a black gentleman. He was actually from down south. And I said, is that how you want to be spoken to? He goes, what do you mean? I said, when you talk to me, did I talk to you like that, man? He says, no. I said, exactly. Now, when I'm around my buddies, I talk all kinds of slang. I talk all kinds of crap. Okay. I'm one of the biggest shit talkers out there. And everybody knows because I like to laugh. But
Yeah,
when it comes to your business, hold yourself to hold yourself to the professional level that you would want somebody else to treat you as, and you'll be fine.
yeah, just like that. Yeah,
That's like that, my man. You know,
like that.
treat how treat it how you want. The golden rule, baby.
Yeah.
All
Oh
right, man.
man. Well, Tim, I mean, I think this is the longest interview I had so far. So,
Like I warned you, I yak.
no, I mean, a lot of great stuff, man. I mean, it was an interesting conversation, from
Thank
Amazon
you.
to just, so much in there. So, I think the viewers will actually enjoy this one for sure. I mean, there's just a lot
I
of,
hope so. Hope so.
raw stuff in here that I think, just isn't
But
out there like that, to be honest. So,
you know what? That's what more of us need to be putting out. And thank you for putting out this kind of content instead of, well, this is what you do and you use this tool and you use that tool. And no, you don't because I'm a shill who's saying you use that tool because I get an affiliate kickback. Man, I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm an affiliate of this. It works and this is why. Okay.
uh,
Be straight up with people. You got more respect for that. I tell you, one day, one of the biggest sales I ever made in my life was this woman just flat out said, are you trying to sell me? I said, yes, ma'am. And she says, okay, I can respect that. What are you trying to sell? And there's an old thing in sales that nobody uses in this industry. And it's probably one of the most profitable things that I'll share. You have 2 ears and one mouth. Use them in the proper proportion. When you ask a question, don't speak and not be quiet. Okay. I apologize for my vulgarity, but I have to say it this way. If you ask a question, shut the fuck up. More people talk themselves out of sales than just shutting up and letting the other person talk. The same
yeah.
woman who asked me if I was going to sell her, I said, blah, 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 pitch, 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 blah, blah, blah. Would you like to use MasterCard, Visa, American Express? Long story short, 5.5 minutes later, my boss walked in and was looking at the call sheet going, dude, get on the phone. I'm on hold. You've been on hold 5.5 minutes? I said, yeah, I have. And just about that time, the woman came back on. She says, I'm a psychiatrist. Are you waiting for the first person to speak to lose? I said, yes, ma'am, I am. What card would you like to use? $48,000 sale.
Wow, for 5 minutes.
Yep.
That's good.
Don't assume that the people that you're talking to know what you know. So many people
Yeah,
get on
yeah,
and, you may be talking to a wholesaler like for you may be talking to the rep. You don't know if that rep's been there 20 years or 20 minutes,
yeah,
so don't assume they know what you know,
yeah.
All right, my man. All right.
But
Thank you.
yeah, Tim, I mean, thanks for being on here. Where can people follow you at? Just on X, Twitter, or anywhere else?
I am on X. Yeah, I'm nowhere else. Tim Talley is on Facebook, but that's just, you don't want to be on there. Those are my opinions. No, X is where I do my Amazon business. And anybody, by the way, who wants it, I do vocal tonality coaching, which goes directly into self-confidence. We got a lot of people out there who I see things posting like, I want to do this, but it's because you don't know how to talk to people. You don't, all these kids now, they get these, I want this, I want that, I want this. I know a guy right now who's a major, amazing chef, but he can't get a job because he won't go to work as a dishwasher in a restaurant to start up. Like
Right, right.
I want to run the restaurant. Well, have you been a dishwasher? No. Start at the bottom, man. Work your way up.
Humble yourself. Yeah.
I don't care. I was 15 years old before I started sales. I worked in a gas station. You know what? I was the best damn gas station attendant I could find. Doesn't matter what you do. If you do it the best of your ability, somebody will come along and find you and help you out,
Yeah.
And that's why I do the vocal tonality, is to increase people's confidence so they can make more sales. Anybody can contact me at Grandpaflippy on X. You can look me up on Twitter, on Facebook. You don't want to see my shit on Facebook. I post stupid jokes on Facebook is what I do. All
Yeah.
right, my man, Oscar, you're amazing. I love watch what you do. Thank you for continuing to put out the content, including your YouTube channel.
Oh, thanks.
I think this is going to go up on the YouTube channel. Um,
Yes, it is.
a lot of the stuff. I think the reason you and I gravitated towards each other was the one video you put up.
Which one?
You want to
Uh,
really know how hard it is to be an Amazon wholesaler? You want to know the truth about this? Da, 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 da. You came in and it's just like, oh yeah, you think this? No. You think that? No. I'm like, okay, this guy gives it raw, he gives it true, and that's what the community needs.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, these days, yeah, there's just way too much fluff going on these days. Like,
Man,
man,
I can spot somebody trying to use a sales tactic against me a million miles away because I've learned them all.
yeah,
I've studied with the old masters that everybody, all the young gurus now who are great people. They're great people, but everything I'm hearing is just, everything old is new again. It's repackaged.
yeah, yeah.
That's why I
Same
say,
thing.
all of the mentors that are out there, as me and African Daddy call them, Fugazi Rus, Fugazi gurus. We've got the Fugazi Rus out there that are just trying to pump out memberships and stuff like that. I tell you, I've learned more from people like you and interaction on X through anything else other than Jim. And like I said, that's a program that, that's brainless. It's $40 a month.
But, yeah,
Uh,
nice. Well, Tim,
so
thanks for
thank
having
you.
me on the show.
Well,
Guys, be sure to subscribe. Go follow Tim on, Twitter, X, and just go chat with him. I mean, I know I learned a lot of things in just this call alone, so I'm pretty sure you guys could learn something as well. So, but without further ado, guys,
happy to speak with anybody.
that is it for this interview, and we are out on to the next one.